All right. Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to say call Haloyam Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai Bahashim Rakah Quitash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who have taught me this truth and who rule well in this truth. Shalom to the 144,000 and the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel that is scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Peace and mercy unto you, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. You are the true Hebrew Israelites that the Bible speaks of. You are the true chosen people of the book. All right, man. So I just want to report on some news, man. I got some two articles here. As you see, this article from the New York Post: Russia warns U.S. against escalation after seizure of oil tanker. All right, I reported that. I reported on that the other day. All right, yesterday or 2 days ago. All right, and I also got this article right here from International Business Times: World War III fears. All right, Kremlin demands firm response as UK spy planes, all right, help seize vessel. All right, and World War III is biblical prophecy. All right, and the true prophets and the true servants of the Lord have been prophesying for decades, for years and years and years of World War III, because World War III is written all throughout the Bible. All right, and the true prophets of the Lord, the Israelites of Great Millstone, and the ones that teach in like manner have been prophesying of World War III and America's destruction in this third world war. All right, and now you finally see it come to pass. Prophecy is being fulfilled. All right, now you scoffers and scorners and you mockers, all right, can't say anything anymore. All right, like the scriptures say, the vision is set for an appointed time, and at the end it shall speak. Right now it's speaking very loud, very, very loud and clear. All right, and now it is made evident who the true prophets and the true servants of the Lord are. If your eyes are wide open, if you're paying attention, all right, if you don't live under a rock, all right, and if you're not emotional either, all right, because these Christian pastors and these Christian churches, man, that you go to see on Sunday, man, they don't prophesy about World War III. They're not talking about World War III in Sunday service. They're not telling you that America's going to be destroyed. They're not telling you that nuclear missiles are going to rain upon this earth. They're not telling you that Esau, Edom is going into captivity. America's going to be destroyed. They're not telling you none of these things. But these are the things that the true prophets and the true servants of the Lord are telling you. All right. And who are the true prophets and the servants of the Lord? The Israelites that are out on the highways and hedges prophesying exactly what I have been telling you. All right. First and foremost, the Israelites of Great Millstone and the ones that teach in like manner, because they have 100% truth of the Bible. All right. But anyway, all right, let's get into this news, man. All right. From the New York Post, this is coming January 8th, which is today. Right. January 8th, 2026. Russia warns U.S. against escalation after seizure, all right, of oil tanker. And it's the Lord that's escalating things. All right, because it's the Lord's determination. All right, when you read Zephaniah 3 and 8, I brought that out in the last lesson. Matter of fact, bump it. Let's just keep bringing it out, man. Keep warning you and keep telling you, man. All right, look at that. Look at that. 441, 144, man. All right, that's the spirit, man. All right, Zephaniah, Lord willing. All right, Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. This is how I am of that number, man. All right, it's the Lord's will to bring all these nations together for war. That's the Lord's determination. World War III is the doing of the Lord. This is exactly what the Lord wants. This is what the Lord said is going to happen. All right, this is what the true prophets and the true servants of the Lord have been prophesying week in and week out, day in and day out. Okay, Zephaniah 3 and 8. All right, therefore wait ye upon me, save the Lord Yahweh, until the day that I rise up to the prey. For my determination is to gather the nations. Yeah, the Lord's determination is to gather the nations, and that's exactly what you see happening right now. All these nations are gearing up for World War III. This is all the Lord's doing. The Lord is bringing all these nations together, escalating tensions, global tensions, because that's exactly what you see right now. The whole world is at war, and the whole world, the tension of the world is escalating, bro. Tensions are rising crazy right now. All right, for my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them my indignation, even all my fierce anger, for all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. Woo-hoo-hoo. And that's going to happen in this third world war. All right, the fire of the Lord's jealousy is these nuclear missiles that are going to rain upon this earth in this third world war, in the Middle East and on America. All right, America is going to be engulfed by a lake of fire. That is the lake of fire. All right, America's destruction is the lake of fire that's going to burn for a long, long time, huh? All right, so again, it says, for my determination is to gather the nations. Yeah, that's the Lord's will. That's his determination. This is exactly the Lord's doing. Man, all right, all these nations that are gearing up for World War III, that's the Lord that's doing this. For my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them my indignation, even all my fierce anger, for all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. All right, so all these nations that are gearing up, these tensions are escalating. That's the Lord that's doing this, because that's his will. That's his determination, to gather these nations so he could pour upon them the fire of his jealousy. All right, via these nuclear missiles. All right, so let's read, man. All right, Russia warns U.S. against escalation after seizure of oil tanker. Yeah, because I reported on that a day ago or 2 days ago. All right, because U.S. seized a Venezuela-linked oil tanker with a Russian flag on it. All right, it says Russia on Thursday strongly condemned the U.S. seizure of an oil tanker. Strongly condemned it. All right, heralding, all right, a new chill in relations. Woo! All right, between Moscow and Washington. All right, that's crazy, man. All right, you see how the Lord makes things happen to fulfill his word, to fulfill his will? Because Russia is going to be the main ones to destroy America in this third world war. When you read Isaiah the 13th chapter, the book of Jeremiah 50 and 51, all right, when it talks about the land of the north, all right, that land of the north is talking about Russia that's going to come against Babylon, which is America. That's Jeremiah. All right, Russia on Thursday strongly condemned the U.S. seizure of an oil tanker, heralding a new chill in relations between Moscow and Washington. And that's why Russia has the most powerful nuclear missiles on this earth. On this earth, they have not only the largest nuclear arsenal, but they have the most powerful nuclear missiles. All right, known as Satan and Satan 2. Look at that. Right? So that's the spirit of the Lord. That is the reason why Russia has the largest nuclear arsenal and the most powerful nuclear weapons on earth, to fulfill prophecy, because they're going to be the main ones to destroy and sweep America off the face of this earth with nuclear destruction. I did a video called Make Bright the Arrows. Make bright the arrows. And it goes into the destructive power of Russia's nuclear missiles. All right, Satan 1 and Satan 2. Satan 2 flies like 11,000 miles per hour. It can hit anywhere on this earth within 15 minutes or less. Anywhere on this earth within 15 minutes or less. All right. And that nuclear ICBM missile holds like 10 to 15 warheads. And each warhead is destroying shit for miles. And they got multiple of those ICBM missiles, man, of Satan 1 and Satan 2. And each of them have 10 to 15 warheads, man. And they could just flood the land of Babylon, man. America. All right. Russia on Thursday strongly condemned, that's today. All right, the U.S. seizure of an oil tanker heralding a new chill in relations between Moscow and Washington that could spread in other areas and affect President Donald Trump's effort to persuade Russia to end its nearly 4-year war in Ukraine. All right? No peace is coming, man. All right? When they say, I say peace and safety, then shall sudden destruction come upon them. All right? It says the seizure, all right, Wednesday of the Russian flag tanker in the North Atlantic can only lead to a further escalation of military and political tensions in the Euro-Atlantic region, as well as a visible lowering of the threshold for the use of force against peaceful shipping, the Russian Foreign Ministry said. All right, Russian President Vladimir Putin hasn't yet commented on the seizure of the tanker and has remained silent about the U.S. capture of Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro, all right, which his diplomats have denounced as a blatant act of aggression, all right. It says, but while the Russian president has avoided any criticism of Trump, the seizure of the tanker by the U.S. military represents a new challenge for the Kremlin. All right, hawkish commentators in Moscow criticized the government for failing to mount a quick response and argued that Russia should deploy its naval assets to protect ships of the Shadow Fleet. All right, Ukraine's Western allies long have promised to tighten sanctions on the Shadow Fleet of tankers that Russia has used to carry its oil to global customers. And many observers in Moscow warned that the U.S. actions, and many observers in Moscow warned that U.S. actions could set a precedent for other nations. All right. So you see what's going on, man. All right. Let's keep reading a little bit more. All right. It says, besides its tough rhetoric, Russia has few options when considering how to respond to the seizure, according to Daniel Fried, all right, an assistant secretary of state for European and Eurasian affairs during the administrations of President George W. Bush and Barack Obama. All right, the Russians tend to scream and yell when they've been embarrassed, and they've been embarrassed in this case because Russian power is not what Vladimir Putin makes it out to be. All right, Fried said. They couldn't do anything about this shit. All right, well, according to prophecy, Russia, people just don't understand, man. People have no idea. They be like, Russia is having a hard time with Ukraine. Bro, you have no idea, bro. All right? No idea. All right? Let's read down. It says, how Russia sees the U.S. military action. It says, the foreign ministry said the U.S. attempted to frame the seizure of the tanker as part of a broad effort to establish control over Venezuela's oil riches, all right, was an utterly cynical reflection of neo-colonial ambitions. The ministry described it as a gross violation of international maritime law and insisted the ship had a permit to sail under the Russian flag issued, all right, in December. It said U.S. threats to prosecute the crew under absurd pretexts were categorically unacceptable. It said sanctions imposed unilaterally by the U.S. and other Western countries were illegitimate and could not serve as justification to seize vessels on high seas. All right. It says Russia's President Vladimir Putin attends a meeting with Deputy Minister of Defense and Chair of Defenders of the Fatherland Foundation, Anna, all right, Salitleva in Moscow, Russia, December 30, 2025. All right. says the White House declined to comment Thursday when asked about foreign ministry statement. All right, the tanker seizure drew angry comments from Russian military bloggers, some of whom accused the Kremlin of failing to mount to a stronger response to the U.S. action. Many criticized the military for failing to quickly dispatch a warship to escort the tanker. All right. All right. The Lord has things played out how He wants to have things played out. All right. So now you got this article, World War III. All right, World War III fears. Kremlin demands firm response as UK spy planes help seize vessels. All right, and you hear talks about World War III every single day. You hear talks about wars and rumors of wars every single day, and you hear talks about World War III every single day. All right, and the true prophets of the Lord have been prophesying, letting you know that World War III is coming for decades, man. For decades. All right, which are the Israelites of Great Millstone and the ones that teach in like manner. All right, been telling you that World War III is coming, man. Been. All right, Kremlin hawks. All right, Kremlin hawks demand nuclear retaliation after U.S. UK sees Russian oil tanker escalating World War III affairs. Yeah. All right. The Kremlin rhetoric has surged to dangerous new levels after U.S. forces supported by British uh, 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 reconnaissance, all right, aircraft, all right, seized a Russian flagged oil tanker in the Atlantic. Yeah, all right, kind of going in, what this article's talking about, and I reported on that a day or two ago. All right, it says within hours, senior Russian lawmakers, all right, were openly invoking nuclear doctrine, all right, and calling for attacks on Western vessels. Yeah, all right, this war, all right, is going to be a nuclear war. It's going to be a war to end all wars. All right, within hours, senior Russian lawmakers were openly invoking nuclear doctrine and calling for attacks on Western vessels as Moscow lashes out and Ukraine endures renewed blackouts under winter skies. All right, the incident has sharpened fears in London and Washington that a regional confrontation could tip into something far more severe. All right, hardline Russian lawmaker Alexei Zuravlev, all right, has demanded that President Vladimir Putin direct attack with torpedoes and sink a couple of American Coast Guard boats in response to the Marinera operation, dismissing the joint U.S. UK seizure as outright piracy. All right, more provocatively, all right, he argued that Russia's military doctrine explicitly permits nuclear weapons, all right, use in such circumstances. Woo! All right, there is no doubt that the response must be firm and swift. He declared his words carrying the unmistakable weight of someone speaking from the corridors of power. Woo! All right. So you see what's going on, man. All right. World War III fears mount as hardline. MP favors escalation. MPs favor escalation. Yep. All right. It says, yet the Kremlin's violent response appeared to embolden rather than satisfy Russia's hardline faction. All right, Lieutenant General Andrei Guralev, a reserve commander and deputy chairman of Parliament's Defense Committee, went further still. He suggested imposing sanctions on all ships heading to Black Sea ports, including seizing and potentially sinking Western vessels. All right. More alarmingly, he proposed targeting Western military manufacturers directly using nuclear-capable systems. All right, singling out German arms makers. All right, Rheinmetall for potential strikes and escalation that would effectively drag NATO into direct conflict. Woo! All right. More alarmingly, he proposed targeting Western military manufacturers. All right, directly using nuclear capable systems. All right, singling out German arms maker Rheinmetall for potential strikes and escalation that would effectively drag NATO into direct conflict. Yep, it's all over from there, all right? Dmitry Medvedev, all right, the former Kremlin president and current deputy head of Security Council, issued a thinly veiled warning to the Trump administration: don't play games with Russia. All right, so bro, come on, man. All right, so you see what's happening, what's going on. These tensions are going crazy right now. Tensions are escalating crazy on this earth because prophecy is getting ready to be prophecy is getting ready to be fulfilled, man. This third world war, man. Man, if you can't see who the true prophets and the servants of the Lord are by now, I don't know, man. You're done. If you ain't got it by now, you're done. You know? So I'll leave it at that, man. You know, Lord willing, this was edifying just to let you know what's going on, what's happening in the world. Just to let you know what times we're living in, man. We're living in the most beautiful, serious, and dangerous times, man. Lord willing, Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai Ratazah, I am of the elect. We're almost out of here, bro. We're literally getting ready to see Yahweh Shai's return, man. And I want to see Babylon's fall. I want to see the fall of Esau, Edom, my enemy. I want to see the fall of all these false gods and idols, man. You know? All right. So with that being said, until the next one, shalom, shalom.